if you can do me a favor, I want to ask you a couple questions. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. This is going to be a slightly different video. This is something that I've thought about for a long time, something that I've taken criticism about, something that I've changed at times in my videos so that it doesn't reflect and show what I feel or what I find is the truth. Usually when I do a video, there are way too many notes. That's the God's honest truth. You don't see it, but there's a monitor right there for me to make sure that I'm somewhat centered, somewhat in frame. And then also there is a list right underneath the camera, which is there. There's a yellow pad of notepad, legal pad, that has my notes on it. And sometimes I look down at it to read it and do the videos. And then recently, well, the last few years, I've had several friends, colleagues, people that I really respect and look up to that question some of the videos that I do. Now, some of the videos I look at from a fan's perspective. I know there's going to be people that call me a clown and a douche and all these names because they don't agree with what I do or whatever it is. Whatever. That's perfectly fine. I'm sure you're going to hear about this. But I look at it from a fan's perspective on what I want to know as a massive fan. Now, I've had dealings with hundreds of businesses, hundreds of anglers. I talk to a bunch of people a lot of times, and this has gone on for almost 20 years at this point in time. I think I started my first radio show about fishing in 2007 and 2008, and did 13 years of a syndicated, largest show in the country. I was one of the first 5 podcasters to ever put their show on iTunes when podcasting wasn't podcasting. Back in 2008 and 2009, there were podcasts, but they weren't like we have now, where even YouTube wasn't as big also. But in recent years, and I digress, in recent years, there's been many people that have questioned some of the stuff that I do. Some people trolls, some people that are just colleagues, and like I said, some people I well respect. And that's why I wanted to hear from y'all. I know this has taken a few minutes just to get into. I want to know, do fans really want to know where tournament anglers are going? Where they've been relegated out, or they've left on their own accord, where they're going to fish the next season. For me, I want to know that. It isn't a matter of stirring up the pot. It's a matter of, I truly care and love this sport and hobby. It isn't that I just do this YouTube channel. I bass fish a lot. I think that in the past, I've listened to other people that I respect, and they've questioned, why do fans care? And I find this very confusing, because in my opinion, if the fan doesn't care where their favorite angler is going, then they're not going to be invested in watching the sport. And if we're not watching the sport isn't growing. The hobby isn't growing. And it's very important for me, and I think y'all, that like the content of where the anglers are moving. And I'm not sure if the fans want to know. Now, they get a lot of views. They stimulate, and they stimulate the conversation between us. You're allowed to interject your opinion on if it's right or wrong, if they're going to this league or that league. I don't take any of that personal. I love your opinion. I feed off your opinion too, because if I think I'm wrong, then I look into it and try to look at your perspective and not my perception. Next, does it matter for fans, media, and even other pros to question rules, payouts, changes, and the decisions made by other organizations? Should we question their authority? That's what I want to know. Is it right to bring up that as a group of anglers that they don't like something that's going on? And should the organization listen, or should they just stick to their guns and double down? Now, recently we've had some payout changes in the Major League Fishing, in the BPT, the BFL, the Toyota Series, all of that. And it was anglers coming together as a coordinated group that said, we want payouts to be all the way down to that last place payout to be $10,000. So it's worth going to these tournaments. They realize that they need to make money to survive. Now, in the past, it's been about sponsorships that most anglers wedge their whole tournament career on. They realize if they do well, they're going to get sponsorships. And those sponsorships generally pay for their entry fees and their expenses, and also allow them to have a family and more. But those extra tournament winnings give them an added bonus. It's not something they count on. I think with the way sponsorships are now, and how tough things are, and how YouTube and social media is even more important than anything else, and influencers gaining some of that sponsorship money from a lot of people, not here, but from a lot of people, I think anglers are really concerned, and they want the tournament payouts to be better. Now, the BPT and Major League Fishing has done a great job at it. Bass has kept the same, but they've also dropped their entry fees. NPFL, good payouts up top, horrible for the rest of the way. And Championship, don't even get me started. The Championship was horrible. And I think at some point in time they will increase, because as the viewership gets better, they'll get more sponsors. But should anglers question the rules and the payouts and come together and coordinate and come together to try to make things better for themselves? Or should it be just what the president or the group who makes those decisions for the league just have the final say-so? Next and lastly is my third question. Do you want to know how much an angler makes in a tournament? This is another one that I get questioned a lot about. I've been told fans and media and other anglers should not care, and it's stupid and ignorant and they're morons, should not care what an angler makes at a tournament. Should we or should we not? And you can always take the rule. You want to know what? We know how much LeBron James makes, or Lamar Jackson. We might not know what they make in their private sponsorships, but we know what they're paid out. And it was brought up, well, they have a collective bargaining agreement. You're right. You're right on that. But we still know how much they're making. We know that the organization has X amount of money to spend. The team has this amount of money to spend on all their players, and this is how much they spend. But in general, we know how much most athletes make. And if we want to have professional fishing as a sport and an athlete, we need to have the same transparency on what they make in their tournaments, not as a sponsor. And the thing that makes me upset about this is because it's been forcefully pushed down my throat that we should not know what tournament anglers make, and it's stupid for me to question it. But as a fan, I do question it. I want to know how much they make. It's funny how these people will say they don't want us to know how much the tournaments pay out. Yet, they'll tell all the anglers what they pay out because they're in it, but they'll put out articles about how much the anglers made in their organization. And I'm not trying to be mean or call anyone out, but I think that if we want this sport to grow, we need to be ultra transparent in the good and the bad. And I think when you're not transparent, it just shows that you're hiding something that you probably believe isn't correct also. And while I'll probably get a little bit of feedback on this one too, I feel like if I was a professional angler on the BPT, I'd want to know what the elites made so I can compare if this is better than this and where the decision to go comes to play. And that just comes back to the full circle on where anglers should go. And maybe it's just me, but those are the questions I really want you guys to answer for me, because I have found it very confusing. I found it very frustrating, and I just find the lack of transparency utter crap. And it's not all the organizations. It does happen in all the organizations, to be honest. But it seems to happen with certain ones more than others. And the rumor mill and gossip mill that happen is just crazy as is. If you knew the rumors and gossip that are happening right now, you would be dumbfounded by what is the circulation of stuff that's happening. And I don't want to be the gossip or rumor person. Hence why I'm not going to ever do a video on the stuff that I hear. But at the same time, there are a lot of people, or I believe there's a lot of people that enjoy the who's in and who's out, how much money anglers make, comparing one organization's payout to the other organization's payouts. I think you guys want to see those, because I know, and maybe just because I'm a stat person, I want to know it. So I want to know, here's the questions. Do fans want to know how much anglers make in tournaments? Number one. Do you not want to know where anglers are fishing and why? Second question. And does it matter for fans, media, and even other pros to question rules, payouts, changes, and other decisions made by organizations? Third question. Comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all the new subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. It is a humbling experience. I'm going to finish this and give you an update on life. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But thank you. But if you're not a subscriber, click that like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you know when the next video drops. Remember, take a kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, thank you, and get your fish on.